This is Sunday Zine, where I make a zine completely from scratch, starting from the very beginning. So this is my idea today. My idea is to make a zine about everything that I've learned in this first month of streaming. I started streaming technically I did an event in November, and I decided to use Twitch because it had captions. That was the main reason. I didn't start doing regular streams. I didn't start really experimenting with this platform until this year. So this is kind of also how to start streaming in your 40s, because I turned 40 at the end of last year. So it's a very different perspective, I think, than a lot of people who start streaming. Why did I choose this platform? Why did I decide to start doing this now? After 20 years on the internet. I've been blogging for 20 years, so why start streaming? And we're going to write all of that into a zine. So you can see on my screen right now, I just have an image search. I really like the Twitch logo, actually. It's a great logo, and it's very graphic, and it's going to look great on our cover. First, though, we're going to find a black and white version. Yes. And we want a big one. Pretty sure we're going to use... I think we can just use this one. That one. Oh, and it's a PNG too. So it's transparent. Very good. I'm just going to save that. Anything else we want? Do we want the name? I think we just need the logo. And then we're going to switch over now to pages, the template that I've decided to use today. And the main reason is because we haven't used it yet. This is the fourth zine I'm making. We've made 2 mini zines. We've made 1 quarter-page zine. So I figured let's do something different. Let's try out one of the other templates. So this one is a trifold. I have colored the pages just to keep myself on track so that it's very easy to tell which is which. Probably don't need these colors anymore, huh? We are going to get rid of them because we definitely don't want the colors to print. Yeah, that's what I want. Style. Change it to black so that we can read it. There we go. That's what I want to do. I want to do it all at once. You can see that each one of these boxes is already built in the margins. You can see there's space in between. What is this line at the top? Oh, that's a page break. Oh, that's funny. The first thing we're going to do is the first thing we always do, which is we save. This is Sunday Zine 4. Outside page 1 is our cover. This is the back cover. And then this page is a weird one because this is kind of like the inside cover. It's kind of like page 2 because it's going to be the page that you see when you turn it around. When you open up the cover. We're going to put the logo on the cover. This is simple. This is easy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make the text box small. Ooh, look how big that is. No problem. So I don't really know what the title is going to be. Something like... I make a lot of how-to zines. It's just the kind of zine that I like to make. I'm a teacher, so I'm an educator at heart, right? I'm teaching you how to make zines. I'm teaching you how to do all kinds of things. I used to say that as an art teacher, because I try so many different things, I don't have one medium that I really, really love. I just kind of like trying things. I like playing around. I try things so that you don't have to. I can show you how to do pretty much everything because I've probably done it before, and I probably bought all the supplies to do it because I really wanted to. And then I didn't keep it up. You can see behind me. There you go. That is my shelf of art supplies. Thinking of calling it something like how to start streaming in your 40s. 40s? No. Is that how you spell 40s? No, that's how you spell 40s. Jeez. I'm an English teacher. I should know that. See, how to start streaming is not interesting. Because 1,000,001 people have done that. They might not have made that zine, but they have made that YouTube video. They have written that blog post. It already exists. How to start streaming is not interesting. It's interesting because I am not the typical person that you would think who would be streaming. Although, granted, you look at Twitch and there are so many wild streamers out there. People doing everything. People from every country. People from every demographic. It's absolutely a Wild West platform, even more than YouTube. And what's amazing is that Twitch has been around for a long time and it still feels like that. It still feels like you could find literally everything. Writers on Twitch are still seem to be a very small portion. You go into the writing category and there's still a small number of viewers. It's not how to start streaming. That's not interesting. It is how I started streaming. What I've learned in my first month of streaming. Oh, that's kind of funny. The image is pushing the text around and it looks kind of cool like that. We can change that though. Oh, I can put it all around it. What do we think of that? That looks really funny. It looks kind of glitchy though, and I kind of love it. But we are right on the margin here. That is not a good thing. We need to give that some space, or else that is going to be cut off by the printer. Yeah, I don't know. Why do I love that so much? And the Helvetica actually makes it. I actually really like it with the Helvetica. It just looks Web 2.5 is what I'm thinking. After the first push of Web 2.0, when they started doing really weird stuff with web pages, you know, like post Snowfall, right? This is what I love about zines, and what I really love about making my zines digitally too, is that you get these weird accidents like this. It's just moving windows around, moving things around, and you get weird things happening. There's our cover. If I'm going to go Helvetica Noi with the title inside text, we might do something different. I don't just want Helvetica Noi through this whole thing. And my last couple zines, I haven't changed the font either. Let's do page 2. This says page 2, but this is inside. This, page 5, is actually technically page 2. Because this is going to be a trifold zine. So this is the back cover, and then you fold the two outside parts in. The page with the logo is going to be on the outside, but then this outside page 5 is going to be the first thing you see on the inside. The inside page 2 is on the back of this page, the cover. I know, it sounds really confusing. What we have to do is think about what is going to go on outside page 5, because it's kind of going to be the first thing that people see when they first open it up, like a big picture on it. Maybe do like a little bit of a list, like a preview, like what are we going to talk about in this scene? Not kind of a table of contents, I suppose. Technically a table of contents, but not really a table of contents. Should I put my name on the cover? I'll put it on the back cover, I think. I'll do my regular back cover colophon. All right, I don't think I love centered text here. Let's not do that. We bring it together. There we go. And just kind of like maybe keep up that glitchy aesthetic. Helvetica Noi is kind of really, really suited to that aesthetic, isn't it? There's just something about it. It's definitely bringing me very web magazine vibes. You know, I'm thinking about like all of those new generation web magazines that do all of that weird scroll jacking. This is why I'm saying like post snowfall, when everyone was trying to do snowfall. And it totally goes with streaming, yes. Because that's where Twitch came from, right? It came out of that era, that same era. And you know what I really love about this cover too? The text is following the lines of this logo. And it's doing that because the words are wrapping, and it's doing the automatic wrapping. So it's completely procedurally generated. The computer the computer knows this is an image and this is text. It needs to go around. How am I going to do it? So it's like following that shape. When I first started thinking about this zine this morning, when I was trying to decide what I was going to do, and I knew that I wanted to do something different. I didn't just want to do another mini zine because I've already done 2. I was feeling very intimidated by this zine, by this template, because this template is so much bigger. And this is something I want to do a video about in the future. All of the different kinds of zines that you can make using just one piece of paper. This is just one piece of paper, regular copy paper, 8.5 by 11. But you can fold it in so many different ways, and you can make half a dozen different zines just from one piece of copy paper. When you make a mini zine, it's the same piece of paper, but you get more pages, but you have less space. So you don't need as many words to fill these boxes as you do in the trifold zine. So I was feeling very intimidated by how much space there was and how many words I would have to write. As I'm looking at this cover, I don't need to fill that much space. Like, lots of white space is going to look very, very cool on this zine. I'm definitely going to put more on the back cover. What day is it today? It's the 30th. Well, let's do no comma. Yes, no comma. What if I take this UI from Pages, this part right here, because it's almost the same size. This morning I was actually thinking about making a zine about Kate Bush because I had watched that show last night. Delete the text box and see what this looks like. It's not giving me the center guidelines. I'm just going to have to wing it. That might look really cool, huh? Now this is looking very confusing. Which side is the functioning panel? So these are all my outside pages. We just have to write. Unfortunately, we're going to be doing all the writing upside down. That's not ideal. Now, technically, I could turn it around. Technically, I can do that. Usually what I do, if I do titles in serif, I will do the body in sans serif. If I do the body in serif, I'll do the title in sans serif. It's just kind of like a rule of thumb of contrast. While we're here, let's save. Every time that you look up and you see that little edited, it's a reminder to save. It's definitely going to be bigger too. 11 is way too small. If we're going with this like glitchy aesthetic, maybe we go with something like monospace. That's the word I'm thinking of. Monospace font. Monaco is a monospace font. Computery and glitchy. What would that look like if we change that? Oh, see, that doesn't look as cool. No. Control Z. You can tell I'm stalling on the writing. I'm stalling making the actual content. Because now I'm looking at this and it's like, oh, I've got 3 pages to fill. Oh my God. How am I going to come up with enough words to fill 3 pages? But it's actually not going to be that hard because I can really lean into this glitchy aesthetic and move the words around a lot. Those are long pages. There's just something about even numbered sizing that looks nicer than odd numbers. Might be weird. What I've learned. I was super excited about this idea, and now my brain is empty. It's the feeling that this is something very personal that I'm writing. It doesn't sound like it, but it is. Technically, I didn't learn this. I knew this, which is what stopped me from doing this kind of stuff for so long. Even more vulnerable than you might think. Do we want to do justified here? Yeah. That bad spacing, that looks so good. It's like off-brand kerning. Some designer out there is looking at this and just groaning in pain. We're letting the computer make all the design decisions today. I have this other idea for a video about how Twitter is great practice for writing zines because it keeps you concise and teaches you how to write very small paragraphs. And those paragraphs are perfect for each page of a zine. These pages, they're like double mini zine pages, right? So it's almost like you're writing double tweets, even the big size tweets. Because I was on Twitter in December 2006. That's 2006, not 2016, 2006. I was on Twitter. And back then it was 140 characters. That's it. I kind of inadvertently trained myself to write like that. Everything that I wrote got shorter because of Twitter. Mostly because of writing on the internet, but directly because of Twitter. It's actually what made me really good at zines. Because as much as I've enjoyed doing weekly, and actually, I should stop talking and start writing, because title is what I've learned in my first month of streaming. I'm a little worried about these margins. How much is going to get cut off? Is that going to look good for the aesthetic? If I end up writing a ton, we can always make this text smaller. But I do kind of love this size. It looks terrible at this size, doesn't it? And I love it. You can see every harsh straight line and 90-degree angle. Even on the S, even on the curves, they're very harsh curves. Now, this is directly related to the being vulnerable. It's a lot of energy being on camera. See, this is another good idea. Maybe it is part of this idea. Maybe we can make it part of this paragraph. Maybe everything I'm saying is actually related to the exact same topic. But that's the sign of a good zine, right? Good zine, like a good paragraph, is about one idea. You're not trying to say multiple things. You're just focused on one idea and really digging deep into that idea, which is ironic because this whole idea is about digging deep. It's about how video is hard for so many reasons. This is the thing. You just start talking and then you realize, oh, wait, I'm writing. See, now I don't have enough space for another sentence to end this. So we're going to have to make it smaller. And, I'm still figuring it out myself, too. Why is this hard when literally every working day of my life, I sit in front of a classroom of students and talk? Granted, the students I teach now, I've been teaching for years. I know them. We get new ones occasionally, but because of COVID, my classes are very small and it's the same kids. But that doesn't mean I never get new kids. It doesn't mean I never walk into a new classroom. And it doesn't mean I'm never teaching new stuff as well, too, right? Sometimes I walk into a classroom, I've never seen the work before. I sit down, I teach it. That's exactly like streaming, except this is going out to the entire internet. Even though it's not technically, right? It's not. There's not that many people here. And I can see that. I can see the number. So why is it hard? Because it's public. Because after this is done, it's going to stay there and people can look at it. Anyone can look at it. Turns out it's the energy, it's the publicity. I don't like publicity. It's not the right word. It's the sharing. This is like therapy. We're figuring it out together. We're figuring it out through the writing. The writing teaches you what you know. And look, it's not even that many words yet, right? 106 words. I was so worried about how many words I was going to need to fill this zine. Do we want to make the back text the same? Now I'm just stalling. I understand that. Yeah, look at that. I kind of want to change the title. Make everything the same. No, it doesn't work. Well, I want to get that point right in between these two words here. I've and learned. And it's just not working. All right. What do I think of that? Do we like that as much? Did I screw it up? What about Andale Mono? See, that looks good. I like the stretched out kerning. I think I liked it before. It's knowing that you're out there I don't want to say forever because it's not forever. That is actually one of the great things about streaming, is that it's ephemeral. I logged on this morning and I realized there's only 2 videos left because all the other ones have expired, which means I got to do some more. I've been online since 2001. Can you believe that? And that's not even that old. There's so many people that got online in the 90s. Technically, I was online in the 90s. I've been online since Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet came out. I know that because when that movie came out, it was one of the very first that had a website. And I was obsessed. I needed to see that website. That's why I got online. I've been online since 1996. I've been writing online since 2001. That's when I actually started posting. So before that, I was just reading. What was I reading, you might ask? Everything I could find. But we didn't have internet in my house for a couple years. It was my grandpa that had internet. That the first time I went on the internet was at my grandpa's house. What I used to do is I used to print pages when I was at my grandpa's house because I have 2 brothers and we had to share, of course. Like, you only got so much time while we were at their house. So during my time, I would print everything and then would read it when I went home. That's how the internet used to work, kids. This is why it's so amazing to me now in my 40s that you just make video and throw it up there. Right? And nobody really cares how much space you're using. That's amazing to me. I want to keep everything, but I don't have the hard drive space. That's not a good ending, though. Maybe it's hard to let go. Twitch taught me how to let go. That is kind of hilarious. I want to fill the space. 21 is too big and 20 is too small. Come on. It is the point, and saying it's the bane is a little dramatic. It is not. It is terrifying. Okay. Being discovered is both the point of the exercise and a terrifying prospect. 3 main topics. Streaming is being vulnerable, putting yourself out there in the platonic sense of the word. Streaming is draining, takes a lot of energy, and then streaming is ephemeral, which goes against my base desires of keeping and documenting everything. I thought I could do this every week. I really did. If I did it like once a week, I thought that would be okay. There's just so much other stuff that I really want to do. If I stream every week, that means that I cannot make produced videos, and that is kind of the whole point of streaming. Ooh, look, we passed 200 words. I mean, I really like it because it's making me make zines. I didn't plan to make, well, that's not true. I did plan to make a zine every week this year. And then I decided I was not going to do it because I decided that would be too much work. Streaming was kind of like an incentive to do it. Why can't I write this? Sometimes you just get blocked. When you get blocked, you just have to write crap. That's what I gotta do. If I want the world to make zines, I need to show them how. I don't like this because it goes to the next line. So I need to take some stuff out to pull it back so that everything will be the same. Yes? Yes, perfect. Zines do is they force you to be very ruthless with your editing because it's all about space and layout. It's still about the words too, right? It's got to be good. It's got to make sense. It's why I really like working directly in the text field. So you're writing directly to see what fits. I filled the pages. What do we think? Move this back up a bit. Let's put it up high. I kind of like that. Why would I use the Pages toolbar? I should be using the Twitch toolbar. What am I thinking? What What am I thinking? Twitch has a lot of horizontal. It doesn't have vertical. I think we need something else. Just went and looked at Twitch, the web page, to see if there was something interesting. Maybe more words? That's a lot of words, though, people. That's a lot of words. Maybe we do the table of contents. Maybe we do it. And maybe we do it in Helvetica Noi. Streaming is... I mean, it's also streaming is motivation. Streaming is motivating? Maybe that. Streaming is motivating. Yeah. Totally cut off. Totally cut off. Front page is fine. Just a matter of margins. Changing the margins on one of these is changing the entire... Oh, I hope that's enough. I hope. That is not enough. This is the problem with print. This is why you make proofs, right? Because you never know what it's going to look like when you actually print it. Instead of writing more, I'm going to justify it to the center. No, I am going to move everything down. One. Yeah, one more sentence here to get it to the next line so that they're all the same. Because that's the kind of thing my brain thinks about. They're not all the same right here. I want them all to end on the same line. Do I have another sentence? It's an ephemeral medium, and I'm an archivist. It's 1996. I've been writing since 2001. The streams are disappearing. There we go. Change one word, moves to the next line. One more time to print. Little tiny bit cut off. Left side just a little bit. Not enough that we're going to print it again, but enough that I'm going to fix it in this moment before I save it again. See? And now it's going to the next line. So maybe we change that word back. Let's fold. Here it is. Two-sided. I have a duplex printer which prints automatically two-sided, so you don't have to do any layout. Hopefully this is correct because I've made this zine before using this template. So if you're making the template from scratch, you're gonna have to do some printing to figure it out. This is a very easy fold though. Fold. So this is the cover. This is the inside. So we're going to fold this one first. Now fold it in thirds, right? Trifold, 3 folds. So just try to get it in the middle. And the first fold you're kind of not going all the way because you want it to fold inside. So I might have folded it a little bit too far. Oh, no. Worked out nicely. So you can see this is kind of the first that you see. But then when you're reading, it goes 1, 2, 3. This is very awkward. I'm sorry. This is incredibly awkward. But it's much harder because this zine is long and skinny. There you go. Lots of words. Lots of words. You know what? I'm looking at it backwards in the camera. I'm not noticing it's upside down. You know why it's upside down? Oh my gosh. I just figured out why it's upside down. Because I changed it so I could write. I changed this so that I could write and I never changed it back. Oh, OMG. This is the vulnerability I'm talking about, people. We made a huge mistake. So when you make this zine, it has to be, or rather for my printer, For my printer, it has to be upside down, the second page. So it's like a book. The 2 pages go like that. All right. Now we can save. Now we can export to PDF. Now we can print. Good Lord. What a mistake to make. It means I get to check those margins again. When you're a zinester, you kind of have to come to terms with using a lot of paper. So recycle and reuse. All right, those margins are perfect. Words are perfect. They're in the right spot. Keyboard's in the way again. First page. The words are correct. Excellent. Oh my God. It worked. Thank you so much for joining me today on Sunday Zine.